which leads us into our next story of the day. We got a clip here regarding AG Merrick Garland breaking silence on why the FBI raided Trump's house. Let's see what this gentleman has to say. I guarantee he's going to read from a teleprompter, and it's going to be some bogus stuff. He's going to be lying in some way, shape, or form. I guarantee you. Let's go ahead and see it.
Good afternoon. Since I became Attorney General, I have made clear that the Department of Justice will speak through its court filings and its work.
Where did we hear that? Oh, just in the other segment from the other DOJ individual is being puppeted around like a string. So here's another string, here's another puppet repeating the same thing.
Just now, the Justice Department has filed a motion in the Southern District of Florida to unseal a search warrant and property receipt relating to a court-approved search that the FBI conducted earlier this week. That search was of premises located in Florida belonging to the former president. The department did not make any public statements on the day of the search. The former president publicly confirmed the search that evening, as is his right. Copies of both the warrant and the FBI property receipt were provided on the day of the search to the former president's counsel, who was on site during the search.
But he's not going to point out the fact that they told him to take a hike and get the hell out of there. He's not going to point that out because it's going to make him look real bad. But the FBI told Trump's lawyers, get the hell out of here. Oh, and by the way, they told him to turn off all the security cameras that were in the area as well. Not going to mention that here because we want to make him look good in the rest of the Biden administration and the Department of Justice.
The search warrant was authorized by a federal court upon the required finding of probable cause. The property receipt is a document that federal law requires law enforcement agents to leave with the property owner. The department filed the motion to make public the warrant and receipt in light of the former president's public confirmation of the search, the surrounding circumstances, and the substantial public interest in this matter. Faithful adherence.
I hope he gets to the point where he talks about that substantial point, because a lot of times, going back just when I was auditing, we looked at certain type of materiality above a certain threshold, above a certain level. And I'm imagining that's what he's talking about here in terms of what they're looking for. They're looking for something that was really material, something that was really, really bad. It better have been really, really bad for you to do this type of shit. Just saying.
The rule of law is the bedrock principle of the Justice Department and of our democracy. Upholding the rule of law means applying the law evenly, without fear or favor. Under my watch, that is precisely what the Justice Department is doing.
Are you serious? Come on. Let me know. Does anybody believe that? Does anybody believe this puppet? Evenly. Look, it doesn't take a genius to look at what this country has done. The Democrat Party, the progressive left, the DOJ, the FBI, all these institutions targeting Donald Trump ever since he went down the escalator. You're telling me that it's equal playing field? When you look at Hillary Clinton, you look at Barack Obama, you look at Eric Holder, you look at Hunter Biden, and you're going to tell me that it's an even playing field, that there is, I mean, I can go on raging, folks. We can go on ranting. I want to hear what he has to say, but let me know, do you believe in this guy? What a statement.
All Americans are entitled to the even-handed application of the law, to due process of the law, and to the presumption of innocence. Much of our work is by necessity conducted out of the public eye. We do that to protect the constitutional rights of all Americans and to protect the integrity of our investigations. Federal law, long-standing department rules, and our ethical obligations prevent me from providing further details as to the basis of the search at this time.
That's why that Matt Gaetz video was so important and what he was talking about 2 weeks before this specific video dropped, before the raid ever took place, of Merrick Garland having conversation with reporters, having FBI agents meeting with reporters at baseball games and doing other these shenanigans, leaking information to the press. But hey, integrity here, folks. Integrity. They do everything outside of the public purview, outside of the public eye, so you don't see it. You don't know what's going on, but we're going to still leak it to everybody. Unbelievable.
There are, however, certain points I want you to know. First, I personally approved the decision to seek a search warrant in this matter. Second, the department does not take such a decision lightly. Where possible, it is standard practice to seek less intrusive means as an alternative to a search and to narrowly scope any search that is undertaken. Third,
what a statement. Literally, Trump's lawyers, Trump himself, and everybody around Trump saying, yeah, we were working with you guys. That's less intrusive. He was working with you, and you decide to go raid him. So what the hell are you talking about, Merrick Garland?
let me address recent unfounded attacks on the professionalism of the FBI and Justice Department agents and prosecutors. I will not stand by silently when their integrity is unfairly attacked. The men and women of the FBI and the Justice Department are dedicated, patriotic public servants. Every day, they protect the American people from violent crime, terrorism, and other threats to their safety while safeguarding our civil rights. They do so at great personal sacrifice and risk to themselves. I am honored to work alongside them.
Well, you made them look very bad. And I do agree with what he said. It's the same scenario, right, folks, where you have a bunch of bad cops doing a very bad thing, right, to any individual. And then you have Black Lives Matter, Democrat Party, progressive left, oh, all cops are bad. We don't want to portray that same thing here on the Bald Brad Show. I agree with what he said. There's a lot of great FBI agents, really great FBI agents. I used to be in a small group Bible study with FBI agents when I lived in Washington, D.C. Agree with that statement, but you're making them look like shit right now, man, with what you did. And now you're coming out, at least you have the cojones to say, I'm the one that authorized this thing, so at least we have somebody to blame, which, quite frankly, we already kind of figured that it was going to be you because of the whole January 6th debacle that people are saying you're kind of a pussy and they aren't going to do something. So now you're doing this. Not only did you make yourself look bad, not only did you make the Department of Justice look bad, not only did you make the Biden administration look bad, but you also made the FBI look bad, of which there are patriots within the FBI. There are those that sacrifice their life and do amazing things, and you just made them look like a bunch of knuckleheads.
This is all I can say right now. More information will be made available in the appropriate way and at the appropriate time. Thank you.
Attorney General, the former president said this
FBI agents. Thank you all for your questions. But as I said, this is all I can say at this time.
It's like a doctor giving like somebody just died. Just all the news I can give you. I'm sorry. It's just terrible. Like it's like something just happened. So there you have Merrick Garland, not really giving us much other than saying, hey, you know what? Don't blame everybody. Maybe I'm the guy that you need to blame here and point all the fingers at. So President Joe Biden's Attorney General Merrick Garland announced Thursday afternoon that he personally approved the FBI search warrant at the home of former President Donald Trump this week, and that the department has moved to unseal the search warrant, showing up more than 30 minutes late. Garland did not answer any questions and gave very little information. It's like a typical thing for the Biden administration, any official that's connected to him, just to show up late to things. I mean, Biden's been known to show up just hours late to meetings. I'm sure Trump did the same thing. I don't like that. I think people's time is precious. You should respect their time. We only have so much time on this planet, and you're kind of going to be an a-hole and just show up late. So there's already one knock amongst others on Merrick Garland already. The announcement comes after federal law enforcement officials raided Trump's Florida residence at Mar-a-Lago Monday morning to retrieve documents related to the National Archives, which is unprecedented, by the way, folks. Jimmy Carter had documents. Every president has done this, and they're losing their crap over it. Newsweek reported the FBI specifically targeted 3 rooms at the residence, a bedroom, an office, and a storage room, and that the information used to obtain the warrant was based largely on information from an FBI confidential human source. God, I'd love to know who that was. The report said that the confidential informant told the Bureau what documents were taken and where the documents were located. The report said that the federal officials waited until Trump was out of state to execute the search warrant at the property because they wanted to be as low-key as possible. Agents were reportedly at the property the entire day and were dressed in plain clothes, leading staff to believe they were U.S. Secret Service agents, which is why news of the executed search warrant did not leak. I'd also like to point out, it almost seems like they were just running on an affidavit of like, hey, this is what I saw, this is what it is, and you went with a search warrant. Do you know how many affidavits we had on the election integrity of people getting multiple ballots, dead people voting? Nothing from the Department of Justice, nothing from the FBI, nothing from any administration about going in and doing certain searches and seizing certain documents. Nothing. It was just, oh, you're a bunch of crazy people. This never happened. All the while, you have Steven Crowder from Blaze Media going out and saying, hey, this person voted. There's no property here. How'd they vote? It's literally dirt. There's nothing here. It's called a desert. There's no building in sight. How the hell did somebody vote from this address? There is no building. Who lives here? Happened countless times all over America. Don't even get me started about the dead people that voted. But, hey, one guy squeals a little bit. Donald Trump has some stuff hidden in freaking Melania's underwear drawer, and they're going to go through her personal items. Freaking ridiculous. The report said that the federal officials waited until Trump was out of state to execute the search warrant, which they did. What a spectacular backfire, a DOJ official told the publication. I know that there's much speculation out there that this is a political persecution, but it really is the best and worst of the bureaucracy in action. They wanted to punctuate the fact that this was a routine law enforcement action stripped of any political overtones, and yet they got exactly the opposite. I mean, they got the opposite, but also what this person's saying is kind of wrong here in terms of what the FBI did, because they decided to go in with just regular clothes, making it seem they were Secret Service agents to the staff. So it was already kind of oddball and kind of weird. Wouldn't you have on your FBI jacket that we see in all of Hollywood? Unless that's not a real thing. If anybody's an FBI agent, actually, I should call my buddy that works for the government. We'll keep it as that to kind of see if that's normal, that you have to kind of wear the colors, meaning kind of the insignia of the FBI, showing that you are the FBI. Furthermore, we got Trump responding on this. Former President Donald Trump responded to U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland's press conference Thursday afternoon by saying that the FBI raid on his property in Florida was not needed because his legal team had been cooperating with the Justice Department, which is what we said. Just now, the Justice Department has filed a motion in the Southern District of Florida to unseal a search warrant and property receipt relating to a court-approved search that the FBI conducted earlier this week at Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago. As you heard, he did personally approve of it. Furthermore, we also have this statement from Trump. My attorneys and representatives were cooperating fully, and very good relationships had been established. I was even hearing that they were having lunch with all these people. So, the cooperation seemed to be there. I mean, enough to hell, if you're able to take you out to lunch, we'll have conversations about it. Let's move forward. Let's figure this out. And then he gets raided. The government could have had whatever they wanted if we had it. They asked us to put an additional lock on a certain area. Done. Everything was fine. Better than that of most previous presidents. And then out of nowhere and with no warning, Mar-a-Lago was raided at 6:30 in the morning by a very large number of agents and even safecrackers. They got way ahead of themselves crazy. Just learned that agents went through the First Lady's closets and rummaged through her clothing and personal items, which is why I made that joke about having documents in her underwear drawer. Just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous from the FBI. Furthermore, we have breaking news that federal law enforcement officials were allegedly searching for highly classified documents on nuclear weapons when they raided former President Donald Trump's home in Florida earlier this week, according to a report. The Washington Post claimed in a report that those familiar with the matter did not offer any specific details on whether they alleged documents on nuclear weapons were about weapons that were possessed by the United States or a foreign nation, and they did not disclose that was recovered during the search. So it almost sounds like that answer that we saw in that one segment with Matt Gaetz and that DOJ official of, well, I can't comment on if it's real or if it's not real or if it exists or doesn't exist. It's like, who the hell answers questions like that? And two, you just say that you have no comment. You don't know. You can't talk about it. So it's a weird way of answering questions. If that is true, it would suggest that material residing unlawfully at Mar-a-Lago may have been classified at the highest classification level, said David Loffman, the former chief of the Justice Department's counterintelligence section, which investigates leaks of classified information. Quote, if the FBI and Department of Justice believed there were top secret materials still at Mar-a-Lago, that would lend itself to greater hair on fire motivation to recover that material as quickly as possible. Investigators reportedly recovered classified material, some of which was labeled top secret. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland said during a press conference Thursday afternoon that he personally approved of the warrant himself. And then the rest of the article kind of goes through what we just backlogged in terms of the speech that Merrick Garland gave, and then Trump's comments to the whole thing of going through the closet, the safes, going through Melania's stuff, all this ridiculous things. I would like more information on this nuclear stuff with what's going on, because look, even if it was like nuclear codes or something, that those aren't even effective anymore, right? They rechange those, they exchange those out when an incoming president's coming in. We need more information with what's going on. The whole thing of it still is Trump was cooperating and him saying, look, if they wanted the documents, just take them. What the hell is he going to do with them? Do you know what I mean? The Democrat Party be like, oh, well, he's going to do something crazy. He's going to sell them to China or his friend Kim Jong-un. Bunch of idiots. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.